your biggest champion will help you set boundaries. Do you see how things come full circle, y'all? Setting boundaries becomes easier when you understand your why. Haku, I set boundaries. Respect my audacity. I stand up for me. Hello, welcome to Patiently Moving, where we learn to patiently move through this journey of self-love. I'm your host, Candace J. Dunkley, and I am so glad you are here. If you have been watching over the past few weeks, you know we've been talking about the different areas of the self-love journey, the different places you want to stop by along the journey, and we have come to the end of this series, at least for now. You know, as we learn more, we may want to extend more, but at least for now, we've come to the end, and we are going to be talking about self-advocacy and patience. Obviously, right? We got to talk about patience. This show is literally named Patiently. Okay, so for now, we're going to start off with self-advocacy. And self-advocacy is simple. It's basically sticking up for yourself. However, we searched the internet, went to the dictionary. This is how Webster defines advocacy. The definition says, the act or process of supporting a cause or proposal. Well, in this season of my life, I propose that I make loving myself my number one cause. Woo! And before you say that self-love is selfish, what is you talking about? How's that your number one cause? You need to watch the video, okay? It's linked up here somewhere. Watch the video. We already talked about this. Self-love is not selfish. Self-love is godly. Yes. When Jesus was walking the earth, he was telling his peoples and them, like, look, my number one commandment is to love God. And then equally important, I need you to love yourself. Because when we love ourselves better, he didn't say this is my interpretation, but when we love ourselves better, we can love other people better. Boom. You better act like you know that when you love yourself, there is a whole party going on in heaven. The angels are dancing and acting a fool. Hey, yo, Gabriel. Ain't that right?
You already know it's a party. Hey.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, thank you. Ha. Thank you. Listen to the angels, y'all. Listen. So let's get right into it. Advocating for myself has been something that I have had to continuously do, especially when it comes to things like mental health or even just in the workplace, but it's also something that's very challenging for me. I have found this so challenging. So I went and I searched the internet. I searched the Googler, okay? And I wanted to see what was out there for suggestions, because I truly believe that knowing your boundaries and knowing your priorities helps with self-advocacy. So I found an article from Psych Central, and one of the suggestions they had for setting boundaries was doing some self-reflection. And we talked about this in another episode, saying that self-discovery is a part of the journey of self-love. So what they said, and I totally agree with it, is that setting boundaries becomes easier when you understand your why. Like, why is this important to you? So spend some time journaling, spend some time just thinking. However you get clarity around why things are important to you, do some self-reflection, maybe go for a walk. All of those things will help you to get a clearer why of why things are important to you. And when you're clear on your why, then it becomes easier to stick to it, to stick to that boundary, because you know not only that it's important, but why it's important. And I think that also goes over to priorities, right? Knowing your why. Why is this important to you? And so this way we can set clear priorities, we can set clear boundaries and stick up for ourselves. Another thing that this article stated was that another thing that can help you set clear boundaries is self-love. Do you see how things come full circle, y'all? Do you see how things come full circle? So I thought this was so good. I'm just going to read it straight from the article because I want to get it right. All right, so I'll be right back. So in the section of the Psych Central article, they say that being your biggest champion will help you set boundaries. So I'm gonna read it right now, and I'll put a link to the article in the description of this video in case you guys want to read it as well. And no, they are not sponsoring this. I just thought it was helpful information. So, be your biggest champion. For boundaries to have a strong foundation, you need to show yourself a bit of love, notes Baker. Baker is the therapist that they're quoting in the article. If you've got a narrative in your head that says you're worthless and undeserving, then you're going to find it difficult to put boundaries in place that protect you, she says. A lot of it comes down to self-worth and self-value. It doesn't take much to start encouraging this mindset either, as Baker. The more you engage in activities that release feel-good hormones like singing, running, or whatever you want to do, things that feed your own heart, then that's going to help change your internal dialogue and make you feel more deserving. Say what? You better act like you know self-love is the key to boundaries. What? And we've come to the last stop on our journey for now, and that is patience. One step at a time. Oh. It's not how you fall, but how you get back up. Say it again. Say it again. So we are going to keep this very quick. As I was thinking about this show, these two reminders came to me in terms of patience. And the first one is every human has things they need to learn. And I too am human. Sometimes we forget we're only human. We all have things we need to learn. We all have things we need to do in order to get to the next step, in order to get to the next level. And sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves, but we are all on a journey. Now, as I always say, being patient with yourself, being empathetic with yourself, that does not mean complacency. So this next reminder is key, and that is I am committed to growth. Just because you're in a place doesn't mean you have to stay there. So we remind ourselves we're human. We all have things to learn, and we have the ability to learn, which means we have the ability to grow. Boom, boom. So now we've come to the end of our show, and I am patiently moving through owning my boundaries because sometimes I get anxiety over setting clear boundaries, and I've had to just speak life to myself and say, look, if someone doesn't like my boundary, it's okay because it's not your boundary to like. You don't have to like my boundary. It's my boundary, okay? But if either respect it or you might have to get the stepping, okay? It's my boundary, but it's easier said than done. So that is something I'm patiently moving through. And I celebrate myself for owning the truth. See, sometimes as I go through this journey of self-love, things may come up that I'm frustrated about with myself. Am I alone, or do you have some things about yourself that just frustrates you? You may love yourself, but every now and again something comes up and it's like, man, I wish I didn't do this. Man, I wish I didn't have this habit. Man. And you just start thinking, and that's when the negative self-talk can come in. And sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes a little voice in my head will go, I hate myself. And I have to be like, whoa. No, I do not hate myself. But sometimes things are habits. Sometimes we have habits, and I have a habit of beating up on myself, not being the kindest to myself, being hard on myself. And when you're like that, those thoughts can creep in. And so I celebrate myself for knowing that that's not the truth. No, I love myself and I celebrate myself. And actually, just a couple days ago, now I tape these shows in advance, so just a couple of days ago, as of this recording, I decided to just start looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. I love you, Candace. And it may sound cheesy, but look, life is about habits. We all have habits, good habits, not so good habits. And if I have a habit of maybe not always being the kindest to myself, I can replace it with a better habit. So I said, I'm just gonna wake up every morning, look in the mirror and say, I love you. So that's what I've been doing. Now, we have come to the ends of the show. Now, let me know in the comments what you thought about what was said today. Do you have trouble setting boundaries? Are you really good at it? Do you have some suggestions? Let us know in the comments your thoughts about anything that you heard today. And also, if you enjoyed this show, smash that like button and subscribe. You gotta let Google know that you like this show so they can send it out to more people who can benefit from it. And lastly, go drink your water. Go. And remember, you deserve to love you, and the world will be a better place when you do. See you later.